Alright, so today we're going to be learning about French pronunciation. This is the English version. So starting off, we have most of our vowels plus vowel combinations. So starting off with the U, this one's always first because English learners always have trouble remembering how to pronounce this one. So they usually pronounce it as U, but the actual pronunciation should be closer to U. So it should be a U sound. This one over here is the actual U sound, so that's U. Next we have a very similar one. This one is O, so no matter if it's this letter or these three letters or these two letters combined, they all make O, just like the letter O. These two are next. These two are very, very close. So this one is E, pronounced like E. Like maybe you see something disgusting and you go E. Next one, we're just going to add an R to that sound. So instead of saying E, like over here, or E, like this one, we're going to go E, R. Add it together, that makes Next letter, that's our vowel I. In French, it makes E. By itself, the Y also makes E. Although you might also see it as E if it's in the middle of a word. Next one is this vowel over here, the letter A. It's pronounced A in French. A. Open mouth. Next, these ones are all very, very, very similar. And so they're grouped together. They pretty much all make the sound E. E. Note, however, this is if there is a consonant after the AI. This is an I, by the way. This is also an I. And this ET is only if it's at the end of a word. So the example given is jouer. E. Next, this one, there is a difference. These combinations of letters make the sound E. Like you're saying hey to someone, right? So E, hey, E. Next, this combination over here, it is not oi. Make sure you do not pronounce it as oi. In order to remember this one, I always like to remember the word for three in French, trois, and then you just take off the TR, and then it makes the wa sound. So this is actually a wa sound, like wa. Right, next we come into our consonant combination plus the two C and G special cases. So first, CH is our equivalent of the English SH in French, so it makes sh. Next one, TH, for most of the time, French, we do not pronounce the H. So in this case, just think of it as a T. So for example, instead of saying they, it would be T. Next one is the GN. The GN is pronounced ny, like ny. So an example, champagne, like that. So C can be pronounced in two different ways. C plus an I or an E after it would make an S sound. So an example is like cirque, ce, and then C with an O, A, or U after it make K sound. So examples like Canada. Now do note, if there is a C with a little tail at the end, we call it cédille in French. It's pronounced as an S no matter what comes after. In order to remember this a little bit better, you can think of the C with the little tail as an S. Kind of looks like an S with that little tail. So for example, instead of being pronounced ka, like Canada, it'd be pronounced sa. Next is this one. By itself, this word is pronounced il, but for most cases, when it's in a word, it's pronounced I. Same with this. G is the same case as C, so G with an I or E is pronounced like a soft G, so it's zh, not j. And then G with O, A, or U is pronounced G, a hard G. Next, we have what we call nasal sounds. This doesn't really exist in English. So whenever you see vowel plus N or M, most of the time these are nasal sounds. So what that means is it comes from the nose. So you can actually put your fingers on the bridge of your nose and then just rest it there as you're saying these. If your nose is vibrating, then you're doing something right. So all of these sounds are very, very similar. They all make the sound eh. Notice we do not hear the N or the M when we're saying these. Eh, 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 eh. Next we have these ones. So this is like the number 1. This is en. In French this means year. En. This is in. On. Next one, this one, it's not oing, it's ouin. So an example of this would be loin or point. Finally, just some general rules. So in general, in French, most consonants at the end of words are not pronounced. So you'll see your S's, your T's, your P's, and your D's especially, those are not pronounced if they are at the very end of a word. If there is an E after it, then you have to pronounce it. So examples of this, don, chat, trop, mot. Notice it did not pronounce any of the end consonants. If words end with C, R, F, or L, for the most part, they are pronounced. So, avec, hier, positif, avril. For words that originate from other languages, most of these consonants are pronounced, just with a French accent for the most part. So tennis would become tennis, stop would become stop, clown will become clown, and express will become express, just with a French accent. Most endings that are CT or PT are pronounced, so examples are contact, impact, or script. So we do pronounce the 2 consonants. And just as a general rule of thumb, usually French syllables end with either a vowel or a nasal. And French as a language is very, very flat, so it's not intonated like English is. And you see, when you hear French, the words are very, very flat, meant to be said very smoothly. Alright, so that's the end of the pronunciation lesson.